Hi, good morning everyone. Hope you all are fine at home. Stay healthy, stay home, take care of yourself, your elder ones as well as your younger ones. Today we are going to do the chapter decimals. Welcome to the another session of decimals. Today we will do classification of decimals and how to convert fraction to decimals and decimal to fraction. So in this, first we will identify what are the types of decimals. That means classification of decimals. So there are basically two types of decimals: equivalent decimals, like and unlike decimals. Okay, equivalent decimals are those decimals having the same value are called equivalent decimals. Like I have a number 2.7, 2.70 and 2.700. If you look at this number, all is of same type, because after decimals, if it is one digit is there, numerical digit, we can put many zeros according to the condition. So here if I write 2.7, 2.70, 2.700, so this type of decimal we call it equivalent decimals, not equal, equivalent decimals. Now next is like and unlike decimals. So what are like decimals and what are unlike decimals? Like decimal having the same number of digits after decimal point. Like I have a number 4.325 and I have another number 7.439. Here in these two numbers after the decimals there are three numerical digits. Here also in this after decimal there is three numerical digits. So here three numerical digits. So these types of decimals we call it like decimals, but these are like decimals and unlike. Unlike decimals are those decimal number in which after the decimal points digits are not equal. Like if I have a number 2.302 and another number is 8.7, so here two digits are missing. So in this only one digit after decimal, and above that there are three digits after the decimals. So having different number of digits after decimal point we call it unlike decimals. So if I want to convert this into these two into like decimals, so what we do, whatever blank spaces is there I mark as 0 to make it a like decimals. So in this if I have a question 5.42, 11.6 and 212.075. I want to convert into a like decimals. These are unlike decimals. And I want to convert these unlike decimals into like decimals. So what I will do? First I will check among these how many maximum digits are there after the decimal points. Here two digits, here one digit, here three digits. It means I want to convert all the decimals after the decimal point there will be a three digit. If only one digit is there, to cover it up we mark it two more zeros. So what I will write here, 5.42. Already I have two digits there. To make third one digit I mark it 0. Here in this I have only one digit. To make it three digit after decimal I mark two zeros. Here already that is three digit after the decimal points. So here in this way I convert unlike decimal into like decimals. Okay. Next my topic is conversion. So conversion means how to convert fraction to decimal. Now I want to convert fraction to decimal. When I am going to convert fraction into decimal, I have two methods. First one is by converting the denominator of the fraction into multiples of 10, like 10, 100, 1000 in the denominator, and make the equivalent fraction according to that. And second method is by long division method. So first, how I solve with the first method? Suppose I have a number 9 by 25. Okay, one thing you have to remember in this, if denominator is multiple of 2 or multiple of 5, then you can make easily denominator as multiple of 10. Okay, so here first I will check the denominator. Is it multiple of 5? Yes, it is multiple of 5. So I will think the number, find a number or think a number which can be multiplied by the denominator of the fraction to make it a multiple of 10. So in this regard, I multiply 25 with 4. So that gives me as a denominator 100. But if I multiply any number with the denominator, numerator also should be multiplied by that same number. That is 9 into 4 gives me 36. Multiply both numerator and denominator by that number. I repeat again, find a number which can be multiplied by the denominator of the fraction to make it a multiple of 10. Then multiply both numerator and denominator by that number. Now next step is write down the numerator and count the number of digits from the right of the numerator. Like here in the denominator, here is 2 zeros after 1. Okay, so how many zeros after 1 is there? You count the numerator from the right and count the number of same digit, how many zeros are there. Like here 36 by 100 I write as 0.36. 36, 2 places from the right because denominator is 100 and after 1 there are 2 zeros are there. If 2 zeros are there, then you have to count 2 places from the right and mark the decimal from the right side and mark the decimal. So that gives me answer 0.36. So I have another form is also there. If I have a question 3 by 8. Now I think the number, which number I have to multiply 8, because this is also multiple of 2. Okay, so now I think the number, which number I have to multiply by 8, that gives me multiple of 10. So if I think 5, 25, 125. Okay, so if I multiply 125, that gives me number 1000. The same numerator should be multiplied by the same number. Multiply both numerator denominator of that number which you already found by making the denominator multiple of 10. So here if it is 1000 is there, and when you multiply 3 with 125, that gives me 375. Now next step is I count the zeros. How many zeros are in the denominator? 1, 2, 3. That means you have to count in the numerator 3 places from the right. 1, 2, 3 and mark the decimal. So that is my answer, 0.375. We read as 0.375. Now next method. What happens if there is in the denominator is not a multiple of either 2 or either 5? Okay, in that case how we can convert fraction to decimal? If the fraction is a mixed number, change it to an improper fraction. Divide the numerator by denominator till a non-zero remainder is left. Put a decimal point in the dividend and the quotient just after the division of unit digit is completed. So here what we do, if I have a question 2 by 5, my second method is, that was the method first, that is making the denominator as multiple of 10. Second method is long division method. Long division method. So how I will do long division method? If I have a question 2 by 5, now it means I have to divide 2 by 5. Okay, so here 2 number is smaller than divisor. So here in this case, what you do, divide the numerator by denominator till a non-zero remainder is left. Okay, when remainder becomes 0 or any other number is left, you have to divide. Put a decimal point in the dividend. Now here this number is smaller than this number, so we mark it a decimal point here, or we multiply with 0, that is gives me 2 after subtraction. Now here no number next is there, I mark a decimal point as well as here and in the quotient. Point in the dividend and the quotient just after the division of unit digit is completed. Now here what I do, no number next is there, put a 0 to the right of the dividend, of decimal of the dividend. So this is my dividend, this is my divisor, this is my quotient. So this we call it quotient. So this is my divisor and this is dividend. So what we will do in the dividend, right side of decimal we mark it 0 for making the further number. Okay, and you have to carry continuously, take the number 0 till your remainder becomes 0. So here we carry downward 0. Now 5 4s are 20. So here after that my remainder is 0. That means 2 by 5, when I convert into decimal, that gives me 0.4. Okay, but what will happen if I have given a mixed fraction? Suppose I have a mixed fraction 1 into 7 by 8. Okay, so what you will do, if the fraction is a mixed number, change it to an improper fraction. Okay, how I will change it to improper fraction? Denominator will be same, like 8 into 1 plus 7, so that gives me 15 by 8. Now what I will do, now I divide this 15 by 8. Now first it will goes in 1 8s are 8, my remainder is 7. Now I want to divide further. In the dividend I mark the decimal point and also in the quotient mark the decimal point, and on the right side of dividend I mark right 0, that carry downward. Now 8 8s are 64. 70 minus 64 gives me 6. Then again I take the 0 and carry downward for making the next number greater than the divisor. Then 8 7s are 56. 4 is left. Then again I mark it 0. Then carry downward to make the number more than the divisor. Now 8 5s are 40. Now I get the remainder 0. Okay, so that means 15 by 8 when convert into decimal, that gives me 1.875. Okay, so I have two methods, fraction to decimal. First method, either convert the denominator into multiple of 10 or by long division method. Now next is if I have to convert back. Now decimal to fraction. Decimal to fraction. Now I want to move back decimal to fraction. If I have a decimal number is given to me, so how I will convert that back into fraction? If I have a number like 0.75, so what I will do? First I will remove the decimal sign. Like here, what I will do here in this, when how many zeros are there, we count the numerator from the right side, same quantity of digit, whatever zeros are present in the denominator, and mark the decimal. Now here, if I have given this point, now I convert it back into this form as denominator as a multiple of 10. So here after the decimal there are two digits. Okay, so decimal number, first what you have to do, you convert into this proper fraction form. So First I will write in the numerator the number without decimal. So now I count how many digits are there after the decimal. So there are 2 digits like 7 and 5. So how many digits are after the decimal is there? So I mark same quantity as 0 downward with 1. That means 100. Now after that, now I want to find the common number between that to make it convert into the lowest form. So in that case, first I found the HCF. 75 ones are 75, 25, then 75, then 25 threes are 75, remainder is 0. So that means HCF. So means both numbers 75 and 100, HCF is 25, means both number is divisible by 25. So I divide both numerator and denominator, whatever I get the HCF. So that gives me 3 by 4. 3 by 4 is the required fraction. Suppose I have a bigger number like that, 2.35. So I first write the numerator without the decimals. Now in the original question I write the count the digits after the decimals. So after the decimal there are 2 digits. So with 1, how many digits after decimal are there? I mark 0 in the denominator. Now I will find the HCF of this 235 and 100. Now if I go with the HCF of 235 with 100, first is go with 200 gives me 35, and 35 2s are 70 gives me 30, 35, 31s are 35 is left, then 35 6 are 30. Now here remainder is 0. So it means my HCF is 5. Now I divide both the number by 5. So when you divide 235 divided by 5 gives me 47, and when 100 divided by 5 gives me 20. Still it is improper fraction. Now I convert this into proper fraction. So now I divide to make it a proper fraction or mixed fraction. I will divide 47 by 20. Goes on, 22s are 40, remainder is 7. So how I will write? First I will write quotient, remainder in the numerator and divisor in the denominator. That's for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.